As the Quest 3 inches closer to its 6 months of life, we keep getting more and more Quest 3 news a little bit mixed up, whether good or bad. In the slot of some good news, there is a new tech demo actually been released free on App Lab called Forest Oniri. Now, the reason I bring up this tech demo is because I kept seeing different things talking about how this was some of the most photorealistic graphics on the Quest, how this thing looked absolutely amazing. I got into this myself, and I will say you first get into it and you do go, wow, for a moment. As you look around the forest, a forest is something extremely hard to render, so it is more impressive maybe than it looks that the Quest is doing this standalone. And when you first look around, it looks really good. As you get closer, you start to look at the textures more. You'll see that some of the textures are kind of flat. The leaves around you don't have much of layers to them. But overall, if someone is really just wanting to see how close to real life can something look on the Quest, this could be the best app to keep in hand for those occasions. The nice thing too is this is not like a static 360 picture where you stay in place and you turn your head. You can actually move around the space that it gives you and actually look at things from different angles. Granted, when you get a lot closer, you start to pick out the problems, and where they added in this virtual environment into it is kind of weird too. Like the car floating outside really doesn't look nearly as good, but some of the parts in the forest when you're just looking around, it is shocking to see how good the Quest can look without a PC attached to it. Keep in mind what you're seeing here flat on the screen, whether it's taken from the trailer or from the headset, does not really give you an idea of what this looks like in 3D when you're actually inside the headset. So if you are curious, I would recommend just download the free app and check it out. I'll leave a link if you want to check it out, but make sure you watch that A button is going to turn off the box around you, help you feel a little more immersed in this. Although you still have to teleport from box to box, you can walk around quite a bit in the box if you have the space. At the end of the demo, it does show you how this technology can actually be used to recreate 3D environments. It was something that made me wonder if they're going to try and bridge the gap here with the Apple Vision Pro and utilize this type of software to actually make spatial videos into environments you could move around in again. That would really change the ability of how you could relive those memories. In the bad news, although this may seem like good news to people who are really sick of seeing the system exploited, the MetaQuest app referral program is something that's been around for a while, where you can refer your friend to buy a headset or refer to your friend to buy a game. They get a % off, or they get money back, you get money back. And it's been a win-win in our community for a lot of people who want to get games, get 25% off on them, and then whoever referred them gets that extra $5 back in store credit to help them buy more games. It's been a hot topic because for a long time people have just put reviews on games to try and get people to use their discount code, helping get them more money to spend, and it looks like Meta is starting to tighten up on this. One of you actually mentioned to me how Stranger Things VR, one of the newest games that's come out, no longer shows an option to even send a referral link. When you go to a normal spot, like if it was Asgard's Wrath 2, you click on the 3 dots next to it once you own the game, and then it shows you can send a referral link, completely absent from Stranger Things. This was after they tightened it up already by going from 25% to 10% if you've given out too many referrals on the same game. And there are a lot of people on Reddit even just having a hard time getting an answer from Meta on how exactly parts of the program work. But if we refer to Meta's own page about their app referrals, it still looks like this thing is thriving and alive, encouraging people to earn a $5 store credit and give your friend 25% off. But it does say many times throughout it, program may be terminated at any time without prior notification. It means that if you've been utilizing this and you need to redeem some credit now, it might be a smart time to do that in case they really do pull the program. Or if you're out there and there's some games you wanted to get and you wanted to utilize this program, now might be a good time to do that. We've got a spot in our Discord specifically for people to help give each other these, because like I can give out codes, but I'm usually maxed out on what credit I can get back anyways. But I'll leave a link down below in case you haven't joined the Discord and you want to do that. Help yourself get some money off games if you haven't heard this before, although keep an eye out. We'll report back to you if it changes or if they stop doing this altogether. Something good I love seeing is people pushing the Quest 3's limits and doing more exciting things, new things that we haven't gotten to see yet. And for one of the first times, it seems like we've seen a developer drop a trailer for their new mixed reality mode, and they are actually using the headset outside. Now, this is something that's not recommended by Meta because it is dangerous. If sunlight were to get into the lenses on the inside that are like magnifying glasses, it could burn the screens. But Arcade Paradise VR showed off their new gameplay trailer that includes the Future Home Enter Reality, which lets you bring arcade cabinets all across your home, and you can see them using this outside on a dock, inside a laundromat. We've played around with a lot of different uses for mixed reality, different places, and what it can actually do to add to your life. But I think how if you had a rec room in your home, to be able to hand someone a headset they popped on, there's a bunch of arcade cabinets for them to walk around and play with, is a pretty cool application of it. We're still not supposed to see this game until this spring, but with the new trailer, I'm definitely getting more interested in this. How do you feel about it? Beat Saber hitting us with some good and bad news simultaneously. In the good, a Daft Punk music pack is coming next week. Of course, one of their big hits, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, can be heard in the trailer, although we can't show you that because of copyright. We don't have the full music pack list or anything yet, we just know it is coming on March 7th. But on the bad news side of things, more of Beat Saber's original co-founders are leaving Beat Games. Beat Saber, of course, when it launched, quickly became one of the biggest games of all time. Jaroslav Beck, one of its original founders, and also the name you see under a lot of the tracks that he made, said a while back he was going to be stepping down, doing something different, and now it seems like others are following suit. I apologize to the co-founders because I'm probably going to butcher these names a little bit, but Jan Yawski confirmed that he's going to be leaving, wants to return to his roots and working on more innovative games. After that, Vladimir Rinkar announced they're also leaving Beat Games. And this, of course, after Meta had acquired Beat Games and made some controversial decisions when they pulled Beat Saber out of pretty much every arcade that wasn't using Meta's own headsets. And it does raise a lot of questions about what's happening behind the scenes, especially as we saw before the Quest 3 launched that Beat Saber mixed reality update. It looked like that was coming, and they've never talked about it since. It definitely has me wondering about the future of Beat Saber and what this means with all of this shakeup. It's hard to imagine the behemoth of the game that Beat Saber has become possibly ever leaving VR, but it does make you wonder what is the future of it going to be, and will it change directions on how it rolls out. At least it's good news. The VR Battle Royale new game Contractors Showdown, that's from the same developers of Contractors, which is one of my favorite shooters, is now beginning their open beta weekends. Actually beginning this weekend and following up the consecutive weekends in March, Contractors Showdown is letting people get in to help them test it out. This is all the mechanics of Contractors, but now in a Battle Royale style game. It's supposed to be launching Q2 of this year, although if you get in this weekend, I'd love to know, how are you feeling about it? What are you thinking about it? We've seen some videos of the YouTubers who got to try it a little early. Seems like a lot of positive impressions. In a strange turn of events that's luckily going to be short-lived bad news, Blair Witch, the Oculus Quest Edition, just delisted from the Meta store. Now you can still go to the page right now. You can see it's just missing the button to buy it. Shows add to wish list. This is a game that's been out for a long time, since 2020 actually. The Bluebird team was contacted by Upload VR and they said that the game was mistakenly deactivated and it will reappear in the store in a day or two. In other stores it's still available like Steam and Rift, and we do not plan to remove any of our games from sale. Just a very random bit of news, and if for some reason you were looking for this nearly 4-year-old game to buy and you wondered where it went, well, it'll be back shortly. The Pixel Ripped series is an epic series that's been going on for many years in VR. It's up to game number 3. Whether you jumped into this game in the 80s, the 90s, it's exciting to see that the studio that makes Pixel Ripped announces a new free-to-play VR soccer game with cats, which is a nice change since we've seen a lot of free-to-play soccer games with gorillas. Pawball is supposed to be a feline simulator that has you bouncing around but playing soccer while you do it, actually using different movements that cats can make. The cats can jump up high, they can climb, they can hit the ball in aerial attacks. Ana Ribeiro, the developer of this, actually gave us a little bit of a preview on Twitter so you can kind of see what some of the gameplay looks like. It does seem to have some sort of hand-based movement where you can see you're kind of bouncing around, and makes me wonder if this is going to feel a little Gorilla Tag, or if people are going to say that it is like Gorilla Tag, because it seems like any game that ends up with motion where you hit your hands on the ground, it bounces you, gets that comparison. The game will be free to play, but it will rely on cosmetic upgrades. A beta could arrive as early as June, and they say there will not be NDAs on this, so you'll probably start seeing videos pop up of people testing this game out around then. I love the Pixel Rip series, but it'll be interesting to see how they translate their development skills over into a game like this. We did get some more Apple Vision Pro news this week, and it does seem like at least most of it is good. News outlets talking about how Proton Pulse has made it over to Apple Vision Pro, and this is actually the first good fully VR game that's available on the headset. Possible reason being that they're saying Proton Pulse is so good on the Apple Vision Pro is because it relies on your head movements and not using hand tracking. Proton Pulse is kind of like a 3-dimensional Pong where you have a paddle up in front of you, but moving your head side to side moves that paddle around to then stop the ball and bounce it back. Games like that do seem like they'd be a surprisingly good fit on the Vision Pro, and the Vision Pro is selling well enough that they're actually expanding the production capacity before rolling this out to other countries. This is a report from tech analyst Ming-Chi Ko, who so far has been very accurate in their reportings about the Apple Vision Pro. Ko saying that over the past month, several of the small capacity suppliers have actually expanded production from the 500 to 600,000 units they were trying to hit, now to 700 to 800,000 units for this year. And for those people who did already buy it and help for that successful launch, there's now a new app that actually lets you use your phone to type, which is helping people type much faster inside the Vision Pro. As MKBHD mentioned, one of the weirdest things is trying to figure out how to type inside of the Apple Vision Pro, because trying to type on a keyboard with hand tracking didn't feel right. But paired with the Apple Vision Pro's pretty clear pass-through, by all reports say, having a phone in your hand that you already have a lot of muscle memory built in of how to use that keyboard is making this the fastest way to input into it. This is an app. This is not something that's been built out yet through Apple, although there is very good possibility that they already were working on this or will follow this line of thought. But the Typos app is available on the App Store for free, and it lets Apple Vision Pros use their iPhones as the keyboard for it. I've been talking to a lot of you on Discord, DMs and stuff about the Apple Vision Pro and our thoughts if we're going to get to test one hopefully soon. One of you out there, Virtual Go, actually sent me an interesting link to a video here I'll kind of leave you with, showing how going out into a creepy woods area late in the day around dusk and playing this zombie game outdoors in mixed reality actually really added to it, as it felt like they were trying to escape zombies in a very real wooded scene, and the coloring of the zombie actually worked really well too. Although this is being developed for the Apple Vision Pro, it is already available on the Quest line lineup, although it is a $7 app. This is not something free. But the trailer definitely looked creepy and gave me some new thoughts of what mixed reality could actually be used for in a sense that would feel very real. With all that going on out there, what are you looking for in VR right now? What are you playing? What are you enjoying? I've actually got to go head out myself right now. I'm about to go take VR to this function and share it with a whole bunch of people and let them enjoy it. But I want to thank you once again for being here with me, and I will see you in another reality.